Hey,
We're together today, as you can see.
Love it.
so at Luminary, where we'll be meeting in person, but in not a small phone booth like this. So we'll
Let's
give
see.
people a couple minutes to come on.
Nice to see everybody.
Actually, this time everybody is in this area, so we know it's beautiful weather for
I know,
everybody.
yeah.
Because usually we would be kind of checking in where different people were.
I know, feels like spring almost, nearly.
I'm in the Bahamas.
I see you're in a very blue sky
You're in the
place.
best
Yeah.
weather.
Oh, yeah.
Very beautiful. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So let's see.
Well, thank you for, zooming in on your vacation.
Yep.
Sure.
I think we can probably assume Bernadette, I know she might not be able to make it. Maybe she will. So the people that were doing accountability groups, it was Valerie and help me out.
Uh, I coordinated the
And
blue.
Nancy, I thought it was you. Okay, yeah. So I guess can we just that one of the main things we want to do is keep in touch and make sure that that you guys were able to find a time or times or otherwise schedule out something so that your accountability groups will can find a time to meet. Were you able to do that? It sounded like it.
Yeah, we met on Monday.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh, good.
Awesome. And you had a Zoom link, so you had somebody had a paid account.
Yeah.
Okay. And it looks like you'll be able to meet, like find a common day going forward.
Yeah, I think, right, everybody, we set we've got a schedule now.
Awesome. I mean, it's
We worked it out.
things are going to come up and
Yeah, not everyone's gonna be able to make every meeting, but
exactly.
we're
But
okay.
in general, you're able to work it out.
And was it any highlights or quick highlights? Was it a get to know you? Did you talk about anything from the orientation? Like what did you what did it?
I see Melissa, Tracy, anyone wanna?
We kind of followed the format that you suggested
Okay.
of wins or ahas,
Oh, good.
and then what we're hoping to get out of it.
Great.
Fantastic.
We were able to start swapping resources too. And we started a Google Doc where we're going to throw all of our links and suggestions for each other.
Well, that's a great idea.
Nice. That's
For the other group
fantastic.
too, yeah.
Yeah. It's the other group, and then you could trade between groups even. Be nice. And Valerie, you had a little bit more challenging, and thank you for your persistence in doing it. Does it sound like that Tuesday, Thursday alternating might work for you guys?
Yes, that's what we're gonna do.
Fantastic.
I'm
And
gonna send out the invites when I get home. I'm just on vacation right now. I don't have a computer.
Oh,
you're on
nice.
vacation.
Enjoy. Well, thank you
Yeah,
for zooming in.
it's
from
spring break for my son's school, so he has 2 weeks off. So I just took a couple of days to go to the Poconos.
Oh,
Be back
nice.
tomorrow afternoon.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah.
We'll be sure to keep this
Yeah.
for our vacationers, but good.
I had a question though. I
Yeah.
read the sheet and it said 9 sessions, so we're only doing 9 sessions of calls.
9 sessions for
Oh, the
accountability.
the accountability calls. It said it on-
Accountability, that's like
That's suggested, but
completely.
yeah,
Okay.
it's completely up to you guys. If you want to, sometimes people can't meet every week. Sometimes every other is a good cadence. Like we suggest probably if you can at least slot it for every week and whoever comes is a good way to gain momentum because we're not going to be meeting as a full cohort once a week. We'll be meeting these 4 times. So that was suggested, but do what works for you all.
Okay.
Yeah. If
Thank
you
you.
can go for every week, there might be a time when only 2 people can come, but sometimes those are really, really rich and valuable. So, if you can go for every week, it's good. And like there's certainly not a limit to 9 because we have so many accountability groups that are still meeting. Like most of them are still meeting in
Beyond
some
training,
way,
yeah.
shape, or form. Like maybe now it's only monthly, but they're still meeting up with their groups.
Yeah.
And it still makes sense to meet the week that we're meeting in person.
Yeah.
That's up to you.
Yeah.
Up to you. But sure,
Okay.
because we used to the old cadence was to meet and then in person, but if maybe that's a week that everybody needs a week off because they're devoting 3 hours on that day plus commuting time, so maybe you needed a week off for accountability. It's really up to you.
Right. And those times, as I think Linda mentioned in the orientation last week, we will be trying to have you do group work in person with women that are not in your accountability group. So you can get to know other women and make different connections than in your accountability group. So that's just something to think about too, in terms of like meeting that week with your own accountability group, because you might not, I mean, of course, like over lunch or, casual time, like you'll have, to catch up, but formally, like we try to like mix and match so that you get to know even more people, more closely.
So,
Slack
okay,
for-
so that was the first thing.
Yeah.
And then does anybody have any questions or need any help at all with accountability groups? And please reach out to us for some reason if you're having trouble, like, staying on track or meeting, like we're here to help you navigate that. So just let us know. And then the other thing is, as Judy was smart to point out, the first time we met was that this is the first time we're doing this in this hybrid format. So occasionally something is going to blurble up that was, a throwback to, oh, here's Bernadette. When we were doing it all remotely, and that is part of some of you reached out to us and said, what's Slack? I'm not getting an email. So Slack was something that we used up until this cohort. It's an instant messaging platform. We started this back, in the pandemic when I think there was less, I don't think people were using WhatsApp and things like that as much. And so people kind of had a lot of fun using Slack, but we saw people slacking off of Slack over the last couple of cohorts, and it started to seem like it was just one more thing to keep track of. So that's why we dropped that, but that's what the reference is.
If I can
So
have
sorry for
one
any
word about
confusion.
Slack.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Honestly, I love Slack, and it might be worth at some point, if people aren't familiar with Slack, are organizing a little like Slack tutorial, because as you kind of get back into the workforce or moving into like a new company, most use it, and it's a great tool.
So we will also say that because Slack isn't gone, we still have a Slack account and we can still add you all onto Slack. So if that sounds like something that you would be interested in using, we are very happy to add you all onto Slack and let you communicate that way. And we tend to send some IMs that way too, if we
Like
come up with
reminders,
resources and
resources.
reminders.
Yeah, and that is actually why we use Slack, Nancy. So thank you for pointing that out for that very reason, because a lot of companies do use it, and it's a good way to practice.
Yeah.
We just, like the last few cohorts, just for whatever reason, weren't very active on it, and we didn't want to give people like another thing if they didn't, need it or want it. But it is a good way to like you're creating this doc with resources. That's a way too that you can share resources with the whole cohort, articles, podcasts, like things like that. We've sent reminders on it. So as Linda said, like if there's like,
Why don't you
unanimous,
think
yeah.
about it in your accountability groups? And then when we meet, it's next week, right?
No,
No, not next
like
week.
2 weeks.
Okay, well, think about it for a minute and let us know. Give us a yay or a nay,
Or
because
we-
we're
yeah.
happy to add you on.
I wouldn't-
I'd be
There is a
interested.
Slack,
I'm
a
on
little,
Slack. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I think it would be a good way to keep all of us in touch, outside of just our accountability groups.
okay.
Okay, yeah, we can.
That's my opinion. I mean, see what everyone else thinks too.
It's really
Well,
easy to just add
why
you
don't we
all
just do it?
on. So
Yeah.
you know what? So I'll send for anybody that's not here, we'll send another email saying, just kidding. We'll put you all on Slack. It is fun. You can even like
Right.
do little giffies on it and stuff. It's fun.
And we
we'll
actually have a Slack training
There's a Slack training, I think
that Holly did, right?
Yeah, we have a Slack training that's recorded that one of the women from our very first cohort, who was a big lover of Slack, like did a little impromptu training for everybody. So we can go ahead and send that out. Does everybody think they'd like to use it? It can be on your phone and on your computer.
I would love to see it. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Great.
Do we get access to the other like channels from before, from the other cohorts?
I think because they're older, I don't know if
think
they'll,
they last for a
everybody
certain
is
amount of
on
time.
there, like the names, but I think that all those chats aren't there.
Yeah,
The other thing that we would usually do on chat, on Slack, is for your accountability group, we can make your accountability group have its own Slack channel that's just private
Mm-hmm.
for you guys. I mean, I'm an admin on it, so, but I'm not going to go looking in your private Slack channel, but it would just be, for your group.
Yeah, I think, doesn't it automatically, just to answer the other question, I think it's like 90 days or something, it deletes, so it doesn't like keep everything, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, unless you get like a
premium account.
premium account, which we didn't bother doing. So, okay, so Slack, back to Slack.
Great.
So
Okay.
Bernadette, I just can't stop looking at your
I
beautiful
know,
pink
it's so
sweater.
pretty.
And the same goes for obviously in the training. If we say, okay, see you next week on Zoom, like obviously
If that-
that's a
yeah.
leftover.
If that comes
So
up, yeah.
if we end up loving this, like if we all get great feedback from you guys and you love this format and we love this format, we'll just go re-record them all, but we wanted to try it out first.
Yes, so I guess the next thing is yesterday, and maybe you've already seen some of these emails, but yesterday we sent we organized the links for your Clifton Strengths Assessment. So you should see an email from Gallup that has your unique link, and that will show you your 35. I'm sorry, it'll show you your 5 strengths out of 34. We've purchased the 5 strengths for you all. Later, if it's interesting to you, you can go and unlock the rest of the strengths with us, to pay a little bit more on your own time, later in the training or after the training. But we are really excited for you to complete those, especially if you haven't already. And when we meet on April 2nd, we'll have Emily Lamia joining us, who's a career coach and certified. I think we've mentioned this before, in this tool. So it's a great opportunity to dig deeper into your results and learn about like what they mean for application and what this could say about what jobs or roles or skill sets I should be elevating. So she's very like hands-on about it. And she also has really a lot of great tips about how to use these like down the line in your resume and LinkedIn and all of these things. So it's going to be, we're really excited to have her. She'll be on Zoom with us. She's in Portland. She used to live in New York City herself.
And she's also a career change coach.
Yeah.
So she is somebody that had a career change and she is a career change coach.
Yeah.
And she's just good people. So.
Yeah. So one thing that now we'll do it on Slack like we used to, but every time we have an opportunity to bring in an expert contributor in person, we'll send out on Slack now, saying that we want some volunteers to volunteer for, getting feedback on your resume in real time or your LinkedIn or your Clifton Strengths. So she's not going to necessarily have time to go around to everybody, but when people volunteer, you'll always take away like a nugget or 2 or 3 or 4 that's like relevant to you, because just of the nature of how she analyzes them. So yeah, we'll be asking for some volunteers on Slack in the next week or 2. So yeah, look out for that when everybody's set up on Slack. And what else?
Make sure if you have, because we're going to be ordering lunch for you when we meet in
yeah.
person. If you have any dietary restrictions
Can
or
you
anything,
email us, right?
just email us. I mean, we usually do kind of, women food. Salads, grains, that kind of stuff. But if you have any dietary restrictions, just let us know. We'll not be getting meatball heroes.
Probably not. Yeah.
Coffee?
Coffee. There is coffee at Luminary on tap, kind of
Nice.
thing, and water, and
There's wine too.
There's wine too. I was going to say that,
There's
but maybe that's
wine.
for like another day, a little later in the afternoon.
Afterward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sparkling water
exactly.
on tap.
Definitely for a celebration, maybe.
Yeah.
Nancy, were you raising your hand?
Oh, no, just like
Okay.
there's wine and coffee on tap.
Yep. And sparkling water, it's all good.
Yeah, and I guess for when we meet, like bring whatever you like to take notes on, if you can bring your laptops, obviously a pad or, you know, anything you need to take notes on. Like, we will be able to share out any slides that we're not going to do a lot of slides when we meet, because we want it to be as interactive as possible.
Mhm.
But anything that we do share, we'll be able to send to you as well.
We have some little notepads too in case you
Yeah,
forget, but
yeah.
you know, whatever, wherever you like to keep your information. Oh, and Tracy, you'd asked about Clifton strengths. That should be fine because we don't actually get, you'd asked if you could forward them. We don't get your Clifton strengths results. They're only going to go
To your
to
email.
all of your emails, so they won't be forwarded to us. So if you like put a different organization, it doesn't matter. It'll still just go to you.
Yeah, and I'll ask Emily, it's like sometimes she likes to, if you do volunteer, sometimes she likes to see them in advance, but not all the time. So I'll see where she's at with that this time around. Depends on how many people volunteer and that sort of thing.
Is Emily meeting with us virtually or is she
Yes,
going to be able to come
virtually.
out?
No,
Okay.
yeah.
She's in Oregon, but she
Yeah.
is a New York transplant and she is trying to be back here. So we weren't sure if she was going to be in person or not,
Yeah.
but she'll be on screen.
Any other questions or anything come up, Valerie?
Yeah. When you said volunteer, what do you mean? Like volunteer, you're trying to meet with like a coach?
Oh, so
Or-
just volunteering to be somebody who shares their results and gets like real-time feedback from Emily on
Or
the
live in person? Live
Right.
in, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, live in person. Yeah.
That'll also come up, for instance, like when we get to resumes or something, we'll say, if you want to live
Pivot
share
pitch, right,
your
yeah.
resume, you know, send it to us in advance. We'll share it with Anne and then she'll live review it. It is usually better to volunteer than to not. So, yeah, and then we just take people first come, first serve. It's like always like a little scary, like, oh, I don't want to put mine out there. But then when you do, like the feedback you get is so personalized. So it's really nice. And it's great to see other people's, the strengths session is really fun because it just gives you also like a deeper read into where all of you guys are coming from. So really cool. That's it. Does anybody
Okay.
else have any questions?
No, we'll send out a reminder before April 2nd on Slack now.
We'll get Slack set up
we'll
in
get
the
Slack
next.
set up.
I just want to say, and I really hope people aren't mad at me. I hope I didn't like force Slack back into the conversation. I only meant to say I think it's a useful tool
No,
to.
not for
if
us.
you don't know
No,
it.
we will throw
Okay.
it back out there. If there's something that's really critical that it's like, it's going to be bad if you like it would be a problem if you didn't catch it. We are also going to send an email.
Right.
We've always done that.
Yeah.
I think Slack is really fun. It's just, it was like the last time we were like, well, maybe it's kind of like, we're just giving people, that's why the feedback is helpful because last time it was just the last cohort. They kind of just wanted to be on WhatsApp or whatever. They didn't want to do another
Right.
piece of technology, but every cohort is different. I think I agree with you. I think it's good to be aware of different technology. Actually, there was just an article. I forgot what it was. There was some article in Forbes or something where somebody got in trouble because they mined the company's Slack
Oh,
or something.
really?
Yeah, it was like, I was like, I guess they're still
Yeah,
using it.
there's a lot that goes on there. And what's fun too, if you really embrace Slack, is like you could use it for communication and texting and resource exchange, but we also have like a wins channel. So like
Mhm.
when we talk about celebrating all the wins, just to like put things out there that happened during the week. And we have a random channel, like people in the past have exchanged recipes and showed pictures
Of their cat.
of their cats or where they're on vacation or things like, so it's like another tool, a way to like stay connected and get to know each other too, which is like a fun aspect of it that you wouldn't necessarily have on email. So.
And once you're on Slack, there are other groups, like other professional groups that also have Slack channels. So then you can just add them in.
Yeah,
So.
so we'll send a reminder on Slack,
I'd burn
and
it out.
probably on email. Yes.
You might have covered this already, and my apologies for signing on a bit late. When
Fine.
you were talking about the strengths and that is related to the VIA assessment that we took, or is that something, am I
The VIA
Disconnecting
assessment is a
something.
bonus. That's an extra one. So that one
Mhm.
is a free assessment, but it covers some things that are a little different. It's got a little different spin than the Gallup's assessment, so we threw that in there for extra. The
Okay, so
Gallup
I look
is
for the Gallup.
yeah, the Gallup email is a Clifton Strengths that we actually buy for all of you guys, and then it'll unlock your top 5 strengths. And a lot of companies use it. It's widely used professionally. So it's
And
a
it'll come from you ladies, or should I look for, because then I need to just check my junk and spam
It'll come from
because,
Gallup.
okay,
But
It'll
so
and
let me
it,
check
out.
it.
yeah, and we couldn't change this part, but
No
we don't
problem.
want you to think it's a spam email. So the subject line says you are invited. So it
Okay,
sounds like spammy, but it's you are invited to take this survey. That's what it leads up to. Yeah.
okay, thank you for that
Yeah.
clarification. Appreciate it.
And again, if anybody is having trouble finding it or seeing it, just let us know. It's possible even that you forgot that you took it sometime a million years ago, and that's why it didn't go through, and then you just need a special link, and Judy will help with that.
Are we getting, you saying the results are out already? Because right? I should be
Oh.
looking at my email for the 5 strengths, or when do I get the 5 strengths?
Oh yeah, the email went to give you the link to take the survey.
Okay,
So
I
once
took it.
Oh, you took it? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I
That
took
was
it
the one due
too.
on Monday? That was the one due Monday?
the
Or is
one,
that something different?
this was
Mm.
one that you should have gotten an email yesterday for.
So there's two
Okay.
strengths things. There's
Yeah.
one that's an optional that there's a link
In the training.
on the
Right.
platform, and that's the VIA strengths that Bernadette was just talking about. So that's an optional extra one. It's a free link, and it gives a little different spin than Gallup. The Gallup Clifton Strengths Assessment is something that we purchased for each of you.
Okay.
So you need to get us an email from
Okay.
Gallup and click
I'll
on
look
that.
for it. I'll
Yeah.
look for it. Thank you. I think
Yeah,
that's what I'm
no,
confused.
for
I think
Gallup.
I just filled out a survey for something else, and I think I got
Yeah.
confused with that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
actually, it's interesting. If
Yeah.
you did the VIA, it's going to be interesting to look at the results
Yeah.
from that and look at your Gallup Clifton strengths together. I think more information is always better. So, and is everybody having an okay time with the platform? Any
Okay.
issues? Okay,
I like the platform.
Oh, good.
well, good. We're thinking of changing it, but that's okay. But not this time.
Working. Yeah.
No, it's worked well for the last few years.
Yeah.
So yeah, good.
Is there one place, let's say, that I can just print out all the sheets? Because like I'll go to my job and just print them all out at one time instead of going one by one.
That
By
I
any
don't
chance?
know. I think you might have to, they're Word documents because they don't work with Google. I think you might have to just download each one.
Yeah. Okay.
Download and print.
Okay. Okay. Well, if anything comes up like in the next 2 weeks.
And
yeah.
actually, it's not a bad idea to download
Yeah.
those and make a file for you because the platform, you have access to the platform until the end of August, and you can extend that access to all the trainings and everything past then, for another 6 months, I think for maybe $300 or something. But honestly, since the action guide has like the training and printed, like if you have time, sometime that's probably what I would do is every time you complete a module, I would
Mhm.
download those things and put them in a file in your computer. So you just have them.
Mhm.
And then it'll be at your that way you have them, and then you can decide at the end if you still want the recorded trainings and all the access, you can, but at least you'll have all those, all the worksheets and the trainings.
I like that
It's
you
our
made
intent. It's that the platform that we joined doesn't allow us to give it to you evergreen. It's just the limitation of the platform. Otherwise, we would have done that. So. Anybody else?
I just want to clarify quickly because I'm not totally clear. So I
Uh-huh.
took the Gallup poll last
Okay.
night. So that's done. And then some you mentioned VIA or VSS. Is that another poll that we're supposed to be taking?
There's an optional one on the
Okay.
on the platform under like where all the homeworks are listed. There's
Okay.
I think is it called Via Strengths or
Yeah,
Via
it's like character strength. So it's a
Character
little bit of a different spin. It kind of more goes into personality and character and values, and that sort of thing. So That's optional. And if you want to take it, fine. We're not going to be like diving deep into an analysis of that one, but we really want you to all take the Gallup one.
Great. Thank you. I think I took
That's the
both.
one that workplaces use the most too, and
Yeah.
is widely it's the Gallup one is widely recognized.
But the VIA one
Perfect.
is fun. It's
Yeah.
like, it's kind of, again, like I was saying, more information is better, but that's the VIA is the optional one. The Gallup one is the one that you need the email for, and you already took it, so.
Yes.
There you go.
Good. Thank you.
And if anybody has a trouble, they took it and they're not getting their strengths back or anything, anytime you have any problems with anything at all, just reach out to us. Eventually on Slack, we'll send an email when Slack is all set up, and then you'll get email invitations and all
Yeah.
that good stuff.
Yeah, you'll look out for email invitations for Slack, right? Yeah.
Also,
Sorry,
I
go
just
ahead.
looked, I just looked at, my local library has LinkedIn Learning. If
Uh-huh.
you, and I know you can do this through the New York Public Library too. You plug in your library card and your PIN number, which is the last 4 digits of the phone number, I think. And it's got tutorials on everything. It's the oldlynda.com. For anybody who's not familiar with LinkedIn Learning, but they have some tutorials on Slack if anybody hasn't used
That's
it.
cool. Yeah, that's great. That's a good resource.
Good resource share. Plus, I love libraries.
Can you send us the link to that? Wait, you said that's Linda?
So you can do it through the New York Public Library, but you can
Uh-huh.
also do it through your local library if you have a library card.
Yeah, I have New York
Usually,
Public Library.
yeah, so you just go to their website and like on my local library, it's at the bottom of the page. You'll see a learning tab or a LinkedIn tab. And if you
Okay.
click on that, it's going to ask you to sign in with your library card. And then you have access to all of their library, their tutorials on anything tech. You know,
And that's through LinkedIn?
this is through your library.
Okay, got it. I'm
But
just
look
not
for
getting the
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn part. I'm sorry.
We're gonna get
Look
you
for
on LinkedIn,
LinkedIn.
Bernadette, don't you worry.
I tried looking for everyone on LinkedIn this morning and I couldn't find it. So I don't know if
If
it's
you
me.
guys are okay with it, I can always share around everybody's LinkedIn profiles.
Yeah,
So,
please. That sounds good.
okay, anything else? Wow, Poconos, Bahamas,
Sounds right.
64 degrees out today here in New York. Everybody's got
Yes.
something good going on. So, all right, don't hesitate to reach out if you have any question at all. Because a lot of times if you ask a question, it's something that we realize that maybe we need to clarify for everybody. So don't hesitate, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Yes.
Jillian, are you in the Bahamas? Is that why it's so pretty behind you?
We're
I'm in
jealous.
Eleuthera.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds lovely. I don't even know where
Sounds
Eleuthera is.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down.
Eleuthera. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that scenery.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're welcome.
Very
Little
Can't wait. The
inspiration.
next time we see everybody,
it's gonna
we're
be
gonna
like
be here in
spring.
person.
Yeah.
We're gonna be here. So, all
Yeah,
right.
we're looking forward to it.
See you
Thank
later,
you.
guys.
See you soon.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody. Thank you
Bye.
so much.
Bye.